Legacy Taekwondo. I'm Master Elder, and today I am putting together your warm-up, conditioning, and stretching video for the week. I know over the last couple weeks I've kind of asked you to throw back to some old videos, but I am trying to get back on track. So today's video is going to be roughly 10 minutes of a warm-up. We'll have 10 minutes of conditioning, and then we will have roughly 10 minutes of cool down or stretching at the end. As in past videos, we've advised students to use the warm-up and the conditioning prior to their private lessons, and then saved the stretching portion of the video for after their lesson is finished, or if time does not allow for that, do the full video prior to your private training sessions so that you are warmed up and stretched before we get started with our instructional portion of your private lessons. So with that being said, I'm going to grab my Tabata timer here. I've got it all set up. So, and then we will get started. I will apologize in advance. My son is sleeping downstairs, so let's go up and down on our toes to warm up our heels and feet. And so in order to minimize waking him up, I have all three of our dogs upstairs with me. So if they hear anything that seems amiss, they're going to be barking, so there'll be a momentary lapse where I may need to pause what we're doing in order to bring them down. All right, let's go ahead and switch to high knees. You can either run your high knees in place, so to increase the cardio intensity of your workout, or you can march them in place, focusing on keeping that core engaged. You'll probably notice when I've done most of our warm-up videos, I've taken the lower impact or lower intensity version. For me, that choice is mostly because I need to be able to talk through this whole video. All right, let's go ahead and kick those heels up again with your butt kicks. You can run them in place if you wish. But as I was saying, if I get too winded by trying to get a good workout in for myself, it probably limits my ability to communicate with you guys on what we need to be doing. So I go at the slightly lower intensity version because if you've never taught a class where you're doing all the exercises, let's switch to side shuffles, with your students and talking throughout the whole thing, you probably don't realize how aerobically demanding that can be. I was in college. I actually got into fitness, or at least got my foot in the door at the fitness center by learning to teach group fitness. So I have revisited what that feels like. All right, let's go ahead and do some gentle core rotations. Are you cleaning the floors back there, Patches? All right, let's go ahead and go for some side bends. Stay on one side for the moment. All right, we're going to switch to the other side. Push and pull all the way forward. Bring those elbows behind your rib cage so my wrists or my fists are coming into those armpits, so I'm reaching and tightening the muscles between my shoulder blades. Let's go reach and pull overhead. rotations side to side. Ear to shoulder. And chin to chest. And then look overhead. All right, arm circles going forward. Medium circles and large circles. And arm circles going backwards. Medium circles and large circles. All right, let's go for Frankensteins. Remember, if you're having trouble bringing your feet up to your hands, that's fine. Instead of kicking up to your hands, don't drop your hands, but just do your best to kick your feet up over your hips, okay? Or as high as you can, but there's no benefit to bending down for these, all right? The goal is to get up there, and if you can't get up there, then just do your best, all right? We're gonna do side leg swings. Now, because we're in a limited space, rather than doing a step swing, I'm just gonna do a standing swing where I come go the other way. This poor doggy here, she's on a little bit of medicine for her nails because they keep wanting to break off, and the prednisone makes her hungry, so she is scavenging for any morsel that my son has dropped. All right, let's go with just a couple more. We're gonna do straight leg crescents in and straight leg crescents out. All right, so let's go ahead and switch to facing out or swinging out. All right, so for those of you that are following along, this might be a great opportunity for you to drink. I'm going to call that the end of our warm-ups, and I'm going to briefly describe our workout before we get into it. So the workout is a combination of exercises. Each exercise will take 20 seconds, and then we will switch immediately into the following exercise without a break. Some exercises are going to be higher intensity than others, so your cardio will go up with the higher intensity ones and come down while doing the lower intensity ones, which is why there's no break in between. There are 15 exercises, I believe, and each one will be 20 seconds long, so that should take us through 5 minutes. There'll be a 1-minute break in between, and then we'll cycle back to the beginning of that 15 exercise circuit and repeat. Now, some of the exercises are going to be the same exercise, they're just one side and then the other, so it won't necessarily seem like there's 15 different exercises necessarily, okay? So if you are finished getting your drink, you should not need any additional equipment. However, you may want to find an open space on your wall before we get started, because we will be doing something with the wall for one of your exercises. Also, when we're doing these videos, if there are any balancing things that you feel you would benefit from having something nearby to hold on to, if that needs to be acquired, now would be a good time to do so. All right, briefly running through the exercises, we'll be doing planks to the right, center, and left, Superman, jump rope in place. If you want a real rope, great. I'm not bringing a real rope in. We'll be doing push-ups, bird dogs, which are a core exercise where you're on your hands and knees, standing side leg lifts, and we'll be doing some squats with rotations, skaters, reverse lunges with an overhead reach, and wall slides, which is what we need that wall space for, okay? So I'll be describing these exercises as we're doing them, but at any point in time, if you feel like you need a moment to get set up, feel free to pause the video, get yourself in order, and then follow along for the 20 seconds. That being said, we are going to go ahead and jump right in. Patches, I'm going to need this space. Girl, can you go over there and lay down, please? Come on, I know you're trying to clean the floor, either up on the bed. Come on, girl. Up. Up, babes. Come on. Good girl. Okay. So, that being said, we are going to go ahead and get started. So our first exercise is going to be plank on our right side, and then we'll rotate to the center, and then we'll do our left side, 20 seconds on each side. Ready? Let's go ahead and get into place. Halo, get back up on the bed. Go on. Up. Set. And lift. All right. Side plank. You want stacked elbow, shoulder, shoulder, hand. Straight line ear, shoulder, hip, and knee. Straight line nose, sternum, belly button, in between the legs. Rotate to your center. Okay. Kick up onto your feet. You want to straight line shoulders, hips, and knees or heels, depending on the position that you're in. And you want your elbows straight underneath your arms. If you have your elbows out in front of you this way, it's going to be more difficult to hold that position. Rotate over to your left side, come up into that side plank on your left side. From this angle, you can see that stacked position from my shoulder, ear, shoulder, hip, and knee a little better than when I'm facing towards the camera. All right, you're gonna lay on your stomach, arms and legs stretched out, lift and hold. You're trying to reach your upper body off the floor and the front of your thighs off the floor. If you need to, you can always bring your hands back like this rather than reaching overhead. It's gonna make it a little easier. Let's go ahead and come on up. We're gonna do a pretend jump rope for 20 seconds. All right, feet together, bouncing on your toes. Even if you don't have a rope, give those arms the rotation that they would be doing with a jump rope. It helps with coordination. Coming down to the floor for push-ups. Hands on, just a little wider than your shoulders, down and up. You're stopping your shoulders in line with your elbows, and you're maintaining that planked position from your shoulders, hips, and knees that you were doing when you were holding your plank. Bird dogs, bring those knees underneath your hips, reach your opposite arm and leg out in a straight position from your shoulder through your heel. So I've got hand, shoulder, hips, and heels, hand, shoulder, hips, and heels. Creating a nice straight line, and I'm engaging my core so I'm not rocking side to side. All right, we're gonna do side leg lift. Just bringing that knee up. Think of it like a side kick chamber. Bringing your guard down and your knee up. Now, under ordinary circumstances, your guard probably wouldn't be fully, let's switch sides, fully over your head like this. But the overhead motion gets your upper body more involved. The bringing the hands down creates a crunching motion through the muscles and the sides of your abs, and it adds a little more aerobic activity to the movement. And since we are working on conditioning, all right, we're gonna squat, rotate, down, up. Squat, I'm doing the same side, all right? So I'm not switching sides with my arm yet. All right, we got one more. Now we're going straight into the other side. Squat, rotate the other way, squat, up. When I'm rotating, my eyes are following my hand so that I'm working on the rotation through my thoracic spine. All right, skaters going side to side. So an explosive lateral motion is going to both strengthen your legs and increase your cardio. Think of it as evading in the ring, getting out of the way before you follow with another technique. All right, reach those arms overhead. We're going to do reverse lunge, rotate the opposite way, back up. Reverse lunge, rotate the opposite way, back up. My arms are fully straight. Again, we're building strength in our legs and we're working on mobility through our midsection. Switch legs, rotate the opposite way. So step back, turn, keep your arms straight overhead the whole time. Obviously, if you want to make this exercise a little bit harder, you can hold that knee off the ground. All right, last exercise is going to be wall slides right here. So we're going to start with angels. Angels are just opening your elbow and your hands up to the wall while keeping the low back, the mid back, and the back of the head touching the wall. Okay? We're going to repeat these again. If you can't get your elbow and your hand to touch the wall, then this is where you'll stay. When we go to the next level, you'll slide your arms overhead if you can maintain contact. You got about 40 seconds left, so if you want a drink, go ahead and get a drink. I realize I left my water bottle downstairs. And for anyone who has kids or younger siblings who take naps, you know that venturing into that space is a poor decision. So I'm just gonna go without any water right now, which is not a big deal because we only got about 12 seconds left. And then we're gonna go back to the beginning. So plank right, plank center, plank left, Superman, all the way back through to our wall slides, okay? If you need more time, now would be a great time to pause. Otherwise, the rest of us are moving on to that plank on our right side. Remember, stack, align, align, hold. If you want to be on your feet, stagger your feet, but engage your glutes so your hips stay forward rather than letting your butt tuck backwards. And rotate onto your elbows. Hold your center plank. You can stay on your knees if that's a good place for you. You can lift your knees, but maintain that line. Shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. You helping out, Halo? And rotate to your other side. Stack. Halo, move. Create that nice stack position. Align your ear, shoulder, hip, and knee. Keep those hip flexors open. All right, roll over onto your stomach. Going for that Superman position, either arms extended or bent, but you're really trying to get your chest and your thighs up off the floor and everything connected to them. So I'm not lifting my thighs and touching my toes down. That doesn't make sense. I'm also not putting my fingers on the floor and pushing myself up. I'm lifting and holding. Good. Come out of that Superman. We're going to jump rope or pretend jump rope. All right, coming back down to the floor in our push-up position. Shoulders, hips, and knees in line. As you're coming down, your head stays up because your head and neck are part of your spine. So you don't want to let your head drop down when you get to the floor. All right, bring those knees underneath your hips. Opposite hand and foot. Create that straight line. Don't let your body rotate side to side. Don't overarch your back. You're not swinging your leg up. You're controlling this motion, top, center, and sides from the core. All right, coming to that side leg lift with the arms dropping down and the knee pumping up into a side chambering position. Switch sides. Squat, rotate open to your right side, down, overhead. Squat, rotate open, down, overhead. Squat, open up, down, overhead. One more on this side. Squat, open up, down, overhead. Repeat on the other side. Squat, open to your left, down, overhead. Squat, left, down, up, squat, left, down, up, one more, squat, skater side to side, if you wanted this to be more intense, you can add a little bit of a lower reach, kind of depends, if you're mimicking your evasions, then your body's going to be upright. If you're trying to add a little more cardio, your body's going to reach. Arms overhead, kneel, rotate, return. Same side, step back lunge, rotate, keeping those arms overhead. Think about pushing the palms of your hands straight up to the ceiling. Go ahead and switch sides. If you actively think about pushing your palms up, it's going to be easier to keep your arms straight. I think it feels pretty natural, especially when our arms are overhead for any period of time, to want to drop them. All right, we're going to step back to our wall. Woo. Both hands and arms in touch. Slide overhead and back down. How high do you slide? Well, that depends on how long you can maintain contact. Excuse me. For me, once I get past about here, my arms want to leave the wall, or my low back wants to leave the wall to compensate. So I'm only going within the range of motion that I can maintain correctly, which, that being said, means that everything that we do, we focus on quality over quantity, all right? It doesn't matter how many reps that you get in if the repetitions are bad. You don't build strength from poor form, you build bad habits and bad techniques. So the important thing is to remember good technique, build up to better reps, faster repetitions, whatever might be the next level in that priority of events. All right. We've got about 10 minutes left for stretching. However, I'm starting to hear a little activity on the monitor, so I'm going to buzz you through some of our stretching exercises. That way I don't have to pause, take a break, come back in. Any additional time that you need or additional repetitions that you want for these stretches, please, you've got the pause, you've got the remote, spend the time that you need for your body on these stretching exercises. In the meantime, we are going to start with feet together, standing forward bend. Keep your back straight. Reach as far down your legs as you can with your back straight. So I'm not curling over. My legs are straight, my back is straight, and I'm stretching. I'm not resting my hands on my knees. I'm resting them on my shins. You're never going to put your hands on your knees to support you. That's bad. Creates high risk on your knee joints to create pressure in a direction that they're not designed to bend. Take those feet a little wider than shoulder width apart, coming down to the center again. We're going to walk it over to our right leg here. Again, hands above and below the knee. Easy is here. Medium is touching your hand to your foot. Highest intensity is reaching across with the opposite hand. Decide what your body needs. Walk it over to the other side. All right. Bring it to the middle. Take your feet as far apart as they'll go. Support yourself on your knuckles if you need to, your elbows if you can go deeper. Let's go ahead and rotate open to our left side. My toes are facing up. I have one hand on each side of my leg. I am dropping my back knee, which is not ideal, but I've had some hamstring issues in the past, and this allows me to support myself a little better. I would prefer not to, and you'll notice when I come to this side, I don't do that because my hamstring issues are on my left leg and not my right. So until I feel like that is built back up, I do have a little bit of a discrepancy in that stretch. I'm gonna go ahead and sit down, feet wide, reaching down on your right foot, my left foot. Again, easy is the shins. Medium is hands on the feet. Hardest is reaching across with the opposite hand. Decide what your body needs. Next level would be chest down, head to your knee. And then level after that would be chest down to your knee. Let's switch sides. All right, easy is the shins. Medium is same hand, same foot. Hard is opposite hand, harder. Head on your knee. Hardest, chest on your knee. Reach as far as you can to the center. If you can, put your elbows down on the floor. If you can't, try to reach past that invisible line between your heels. And if your elbows on the floor is easy, take your head or your chest down to the floor for the next level. Legs out in front, shins is easy, toes is medium. Grabbing your fingertips all the way around the balls of your feet and pulling yourself down with your knees straight is hardest, all right? Let's go ahead and come into that butterfly position. Hi there. You trying to figure out what's going on up here, bud? So, that's on. The dogs are here. We're taking a video, okay? So, butterfly position. Feet in, knees out. Use the muscles in the outside of your knees to pull. I can see working on landing here. To pull your knees down to the floor. We're going to take, guys, come on, either out or on the bed. No one can see what's happening when you're roaming around. Doggies, out. Doggies, out. Yeah, they're all over the place, aren't they? All right, put one foot on top of your opposite leg and then drive your knee up to your chest like this. Let's go ahead and take this foot down onto the ground and bring your elbow across to rotate through the core. Michael, can you stand anywhere but there, please, bud? Oh, that's a good place. Thank you. All right, we're going to take that top knee, straighten it out, other leg across, and we're going to push that leg up to our chest. Are you stuck? Stuck it? Or are you just getting a better seat? There we go. Good job. You trying to get out? All right, we're going to take that. So many obstacles. Dog ball and baby. We're going to take that top leg down to the floor without crushing the baby. And then we're going to rotate over this way. And get some baby snuggles in the meantime. Oh, thank you, bud. All right, woo! Okay, you ready? So since he's sitting on this leg, I'm going to use this leg first. I'm going to pull that heel to my opposite hip. And I'm going to rotate with my posture in line, rotate my belly button towards my knee, and lean into that leg. So I'm stretching through the hip of the knee that's on the ground. All right, we're going to switch sides. All right, heel by your hip, belly button rotated towards your knee, leaning into that knee. Notice I'm not bending into the knee, I'm not compromising the posture, I am leaning my entire body in alignment down to create that stretch in the hip. Back to the first side. Now we're gonna have some space between your hip and your heel, all right? So my knee in front here is bent at about 90 degrees. I'm still keeping my posture in line. I'm still rotating my belly button to my front knee, and in spite of obstacles, I'm leaning in as far as my posture will allow. You gonna throw the ball for the dog? Good job. All right, let's switch sides. Michael, come back here with my phone, please. No. I'm not gonna take that downstairs. I'm sorry, I know that upsets you. But, I know that upsets you. But I don't want my phone going down the stairs by itself. You're fine, buddy. All right, we're gonna come back to the first side. This time, my knee is still bent, but it's greater than 90 degrees. I know, we're upset now. Yeah, I know. Life's tough when you don't get everything you want. Alright, if you're able to, it would probably be a good idea to switch over to your other leg. Alright, let's see if we can. Alright, yeah, so my front leg is out past 90. My hips are rotated over towards that leg. My knee is bent, but my leg is mostly straight, so I'm getting a stretch to the outside of the leg here. Again, posture in line, taking my belly button towards the knee. All right. Quad stretch onto my stomach, pulling my heel to my behind, keeping my legs together so my knees are in line rather than twisting out to the side. And then if I want this to be harder, I lift up onto my elbow to raise my chest, and that increases the stretch in your quad. All right, we're gonna switch sides. And in case you are not a horse or a jungle gym, that does increase the challenge of your stretching exercises. Is mommy a horse? Huh? Are we going somewhere? Come here, bunny. Come here. All right, last stretch is going to be a half kneeling hip flexor stretch. So I'm driving that hip forward. I've got my belly button engaged. I'm squeezing my glutes here. If you want this to be harder, you can have a toddler stand on you, or you can reach overhead if you don't have a toddler available. Isn't that right? Not everybody has one of you to turn into a jungle gym at will. All right, you went down? You want the other side? All right, opposite knee forward, belly button engaged. Drive that hip forward by squeezing your glute. Reach overhead, sans toddler, and you should get a good stretch through the hip flexor on the opposite leg. All right, come on up. Drive your back heel down for a nice calf stretch and push the palms out. Let's go ahead and bring them overhead. We're going to switch legs. We're going to go thumbs down. Push behind you for a nice bicep stretch. Again, I'm driving that heel down for a nice calf stretch. And then we're going to come back forward, thumbs up for a chest stretch. All right. Nice work today. take extra time in your stretches if you need them. I know I included a lot and I kind of rushed some of them, but we're all set for today. You guys did a great job. Hopefully you tagged along the whole time. If you want the workout to be more intense, you could always add a third or a fourth round, and that will bump up the intensity of the workout. Obviously, it's going to increase a little bit of time over your overall conditioning. Every additional round that you add is going to put another 5 minutes on the workout. Congratulations and have a great day.